When the body gets sick, it often has something to tell us, some wisdom to impart. If we take the time to listen, this is what IVA learned from over 25 years of listening to what the body has to say. If we look at where the word leukemia comes from, we find the root word white blood. There's an old saying that goes like this: white blood, bad blood. So leukemia is bad blood. When someone is diagnosed with leukemia, they have one of the worst diagnoses imaginable. It doesn't matter if it's acute or chronic. Either way, it's scary. Leukemia is associated with death, and there's not much hope for recovery. In fact, there are so many different types of leukemia, and people know which type they have, and the prognosis can be confusing. I mean, no one wants to hear they have a blood disease, but when we dig deeper, we find that there are actually 4 basic emotions that drive all diseases, including leukemia. And by understanding these emotions, we get a much better idea of how to address this condition and even put it into remission. In today's episode, we'll talk about the 4 types of leukemia and the emotional causes behind each one. Let's start with the first, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Now, let's imagine a man. He loves his wife deeply. One day he comes home early and walks in on his wife in bed with another man. This man experiences an intense feeling of worthlessness. He feels like he's lost everything that gave life meaning: his beliefs, his values, his trust, even his identity. It's as if a part of him has died. The pain is unbearable. In his mind, he thinks, "How could this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this?" But life goes on. People expect him to move on and get over it, to act as if nothing happened. Time passes, but the wound remains open. It never truly heals. And then years later, this same man falls in love again. He starts a new relationship and finds happiness. But then suddenly he gets sick. He's diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Now, looking back, can you see the connection? The root cause of his illness lies in the past, the trauma of finding his wife cheating on him. The leukemia is a manifestation of his unresolved pain. It's as if his body has been holding on to this trauma, waiting for the right moment to bring it to the surface. It's trying to heal this wound. That's why we see similar cases of people who experience a sudden shock or trauma in their lives, like a car accident or a violent attack, and then later develop cancer. In the case of the man with leukemia, his body is sending him a message. It's trying to make him face the unresolved pain from his past. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia can affect anyone, regardless of age. However, it's most common in children. It's as if the young soul has not yet developed the emotional strength to carry the burden of such heavy emotions. It needs to release them. The next type of leukemia we'll discuss is chronic lymphocytic leukemia. Let's consider a woman who has a son. She always feels that her son doesn't appreciate her enough. Maybe he doesn't call her enough or thank her enough for the things she does for him. Over time, this builds up inside of her and becomes a big problem. She feels constantly upset and keeps thinking about how ungrateful her son is. But she tries to hide it. She acts as if everything is fine because she doesn't want anyone to know about her problems. She doesn't want to burden anyone with her negative emotions. But, as time goes on, her negative feelings grow stronger and stronger, until one day, she can't keep them inside anymore. She gets sick and is diagnosed with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. In this case, the root cause of her illness lies in her unaddressed feelings of resentment and anger towards her son for not appreciating her enough. These toxic emotions have taken a toll on her health and manifested as a disease. Chronic lymphocytic leukemia is the most common type of leukemia, affecting more than 20,000 people in the United States alone. It often occurs in older adults, which could be related to the accumulation of unresolved emotional issues over a lifetime. Just like our bodies age, so do our emotions. And if we don't find healthy ways to express and process them, they can turn into illnesses. Next is chronic myeloid leukemia. Imagine a man going through life feeling completely worthless. He sees everyone around him happy and successful, but he feels like he's nothing, that he has no purpose or meaning in life. He feels trapped in his own mind, unable to break free from the chains of his negative thoughts. Every day he struggles with feelings of hopelessness and despair. He tries to hide it from others, but inside he's crumbling. One day he falls seriously ill and is diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia. Looking back, can you see the root cause of his illness? His lifelong struggle with worthlessness and his inability to find meaning in life. These deep-seated emotional wounds have manifested as a serious illness. Chronic myeloid leukemia is characterized by the overproduction of abnormal white blood cells. It's almost as if his body is trying to create an army of fake soldiers to fight a war that doesn't exist. It's a constant battle within him between good and evil. Unfortunately, chronic myeloid leukemia is often associated with a poor prognosis, and when someone is diagnosed with this condition, they usually only have a few years to live. It's as if the universe is giving him a final warning, urging him to wake up and realize the preciousness of life. It's time to face his pain and resolve it. Finally, we come to monocytic leukemia. Picture a person living a life of isolation. They've always felt different from others, like an outsider. They struggle to connect with people and feel a sense of belonging. They've given up on making friends or finding love. They're tired of feeling rejected and misunderstood. They've built walls around their heart to protect themselves from further pain. But as time goes on, their loneliness grows. It becomes a heavy burden to carry. And one day their body gives out. They fall sick and are diagnosed with monocytic leukemia. Looking back, can you see the root cause of their illness? Their lifelong struggle with isolation and their inability to form meaningful connections with others. It's as if their body is crying out for help, begging for attention and affection. Monocytic leukemia is a rare type of blood and bone marrow cancer. It affects the monocytes, which are a type of white blood cell responsible for fighting infection. In a way, it's as if their own defense system has turned against them because they haven't allowed anyone in to defend them. They've kept everyone out, including themselves. In reality, leukemia arises from a deep sense of disconnection and emotional pain. It's a cry for help from the soul. We might think that cancer is just a physical illness, but it's much more than that. It's a reflection of our emotional state. To truly heal from leukemia, we need to address the root causes, the pain and unresolved trauma that lies within us. Only then can we hope to cure this disease. If you want to learn more about how emotions affect your body, please check out this video next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.